This video walks through how to change the air filter on a Ducati 1299 Panigale, but these steps should be similar, if not identical, to the actions needed for the 959, 899, and 1199. The filter I'll be installing is a polyester filter provided by Moto Million, which is a high-quality parts distributor and retailer. If you're looking for a company with standards that match the quality of their products, be sure to check them out. You'll be hard-pressed to find another business with such a high level of character. They were also nice enough to set up a discount code for anyone that sees this video, so grab that code from the description below and save a few bucks during checkout. In my possession are two different single-layer polyester filters made by Sprint Filter. They both effectively strain out 93% of 100 micron thick particles compared to 76% by the standard cotton filter. According to a study performed by this guy pointing at a thing, you can see the polyester filter is also capable of processing a higher volume of air. These two facts make for one impressive filter that can be cleaned by simply blowing it out with compressed air. So why two filters? The one with the carbon fiber frame is actually the filter used in world superbikes. It's a little bit lighter, and the added corrugation increases this filter's air cleaning surface area by 210%. As always, let's take a look at the tools needed for the job. Look at it. Can we all agree that this is satisfying? Anyway, you'll need a 2.5, 3, 4, and 5mm hex as well as an 8mm socket or wrench, screwdrivers for possible poking and prying, needle nose pliers for needle nosing, some rags and zip ties to catch a few drops of gas, and something to cut the zip tie when you're done. The first step is to use the 3 and 4mm Allen keys to remove the switch cover. Grab a 5mm hex and undo the screws where the front of the tank is secured. We'll come back to pry out these spacers later, but it's nice to have them in while you lift up the rear of the tank. Jump down to the seat and remove it by using a 3mm on the single screw near the tank. Get the right fairing out of the way. Use a 3mm to spin out each of these screws. There's one hiding on the other side of this fairing that requires a 2.5mm hex, and one back here that needs a 3mm. To get this fairing off, you'll need to gently come forward and out, and then beware of the final clip. From there, use a 4mm hex to remove the screws and an 8mm socket or wrench to remove the nuts that secure the bracket near the rear of the tank. Disconnect the little ground wire and lift up the rear of the tank so you can disconnect the fuel pump's wiring harness. When you're under there, grab a rag and unclip the fuel quick connect. This is where I used a rag and a zip tie just in case a few drops of gas come out. In order to get to the breather tubes, get the electrical component panel out of the way by spinning out the screws with a 4mm hex. In order to get enough slack, you may need to turn the bars and unclip a number of wiring harnesses. Once you have enough room, unclip the hose clamp and wiggle off the breather tubes. At this point, you can pry out the spacers at the front of the tank and it'll lift right off. Now that we're all up in the guts of this bike, disconnect the two injector wiring harnesses and clips securing the shower unit. Release the throttle body connector and do a better job of catching the gas than I did before moving the shower unit out of the way. At this point, we have a clear view of the air filter held in by spring clips. Undo those clips and bring the air filter out. I like to keep things covered with rags just in case something drops out of the filter. You'll notice that the World Superbike filter intends to clip in without the frame while the standard high flow filter uses the stock harness. Once you get the filter back in there, secure it with the spring clips. Connect the shower unit back to the throttle body, secure those clips, and connect the injector wiring harnesses back up. Set the tank back on and insert the spacers in the front of the tank. Once the breather tubes are attached, reset the hose clamp and move on to the electrical component support panel. Connect all the wiring harnesses you disconnected and screw the panel back down. I noticed that I actually missed one of these connectors after I put the fairing back on. Under the tank, remove the zip tie and rag and clip the fuel line back into the tank. Attach the wiring harness, ground wire, bracket, and replace the seat. Screw the front of the tank down, replace the switch cover, and reattach the fairing. See? Nothing to it. Be sure to reflash the ECU when you change to a high flow filter and you're all done. As always, thanks for watching. If this happens to be the first video of mine that you've seen, be sure to sift through my other content and consider subscribing where the bulk of my content revolves around the Panigale. That's it for me. Until next time, connect all those wiring harnesses.